Hey, what's up everyone? Happy Friday. Welcome to another episode of the SEO video show. Today's topics, we'll be talking about how to start a 7-figure SEO agency with our very special guest today, Lisa Parziel. Lisa Parziel. Alright guys. Today we'll be talking about how to start a 7-figure SEO agency. How are you guys doing out there? I see a few of you out there already. Don't be shy, say hi in the live chat. Stefan, my man, happy Friday. Nikhil says, hey. Oh, I see Lisa in the background. Let me bring her up in the back here. Hi, Lisa. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you? Can you hear me all right?
Yes, I can hear you just fine. Looks good. Everything looks good there. Love and laugh. Love it. All right, so I'm going, right now I'm just kind of like getting things ready and just saying hi to everyone in the live chat. And then about 8 minutes after 12, that's when I'll introduce you in. So I'll just kind of go over a few videos in the very beginning that I found during the week, and then I'll introduce you then. All right.
I'm easy.
We have Lisa in the back. Be sure to say hi in the live chat and let me know where you're watching from. Today's topics, we'll be talking about how to start a 7-figure SEO agency. Be sure to get your questions ready, and I will address them in the order that they are received. I have a bunch of my own. Oh, yeah. Nubia says, hi, Lisa and Dre. Kenneth says, hi, everyone. Latonia, happy Friday. Just tuning in, we'll be talking about how to build your own SEO agency. Make it 7 figures. Yeah, buddy. Fletcher, what's up, Lisa and Dre? Hello, Fletcher. You should let me know where you guys are watching from. I'd love to know where you guys are at. Oh yeah, Lisa's in the live chat. What's up, everyone? So excited to be here today. What's up, Lisa? Ernesto, hello from Florida. got about 4.5 more minutes to go. Get your shouts out. Get your questions ready. Grab your drink. Sit back and relax. Kobe says, "Hi Lisa, happy Friday." If you're just tuning in, we'll be talking about how to start your own 7-figure SEO agency. With a very special guest today, Lisa Parziel. Lisa, how was SEO spring training?
It was good.
Nice.
Learned a lot.
What was the turnout like? Was it like a few hundred people there, or was it like kind of...
Yeah, I think it was like 130.
130? Nice.
Seems about right. Good group.
Are you still doing the Monday motivations?
We took a little break.
Okay.
Took a little break. I'm about to fire that back up.
Nice. All right, guys, we're coming close to 3 minutes here. I think I got everything ready, so just be sure to get your shouts out. Let me know where you're watching from. Yasmin Haas, hello from Las Vegas. Las Vegas. Where are you located, Lisa? Are you in? Is it what, Austin?
Dallas Fort Worth.
Dallas.
Dallas Fort Worth. Had the right state.
There you go.
Where are you at?
I'm in Oakland, California.
Oakland. My wife lived in California for years.
The North Bay or South SoCal?
San Diego.
Oh, San Diego. That's the second Bay Area there. I mean, well, it could be the first, wherever we're from, but but San Diego would be like another place.
That was free me, though. Free me.
Don't be shy, guys. I see a bunch of you out there. We won't bite. If you're just tuning in, we'll be talking about how to start a 7-figure SEO agency, how to quit your corporate job, all this great stuff for you. Jam-packed in the next 45 minutes. Lisa, do you play any instruments or sing?
Not since high school.
Oh, I was gonna say you can play a little something at the end if you want.
Nope. That
Like
talent is not gonna happen.
Oh man.
No, sorry.
All right, guys, we got 30 seconds to go. I'm just gonna go ahead and just like get my buttons ready. So just sit back, and I'll see you on the other side. And Lisa, I'm gonna put you on mute real quick, and I'll unmute you right when I introduce you. All right.
Yeah, hey, Time to get it started, no delay, let's work. Wanna see you be an SEO expert. Paul Andre De Vera, steady dropping knowledge. Over 15 years in the game, so he knows all about it. Master the art of SEO, you will be amazed. Time to get your brand off page to on page. Dropping knowledge, legendary for sure. Whether you're just getting started or self-employed entrepreneur. Yeah, let's go. Subscribe to the SEO video show.
Hey, welcome to another episode of the SEO video show where SEO is alive and fun. My name's Paul Andre De Vera, aka Dre, and I curate SEO videos released in the past week into about 1-minute clips. My favorite part of the show is when I get to introduce my guest, and today I have the founder of Agency Remix, Lisa Parziale. All right, let's say what's up to everyone in chat. I see Yasmin, Kobe, Lisa, Ernesto, Fletcher, Stefan, Nubia. Who else is there? We got Nikhil, Kenneth, and Latonya. All right, guys, be sure to like, subscribe, and support this channel. Now let's get on with the show.
Hey, Dre, what 2 things do SEO preschoolers have at lunch break? Cookies and link juice boxes!
Google just posted a new blog about the new role of page experience in creating helpful content. Helpful content generally offers a good page for a good page experience. So that's why they added a section on page experience to guide the guidance in creating helpful content and revised about the help page and about experience page. They think that this will help owners consider page experience more holistically as a part of the content creation process. Okay, the link is in the description if you want to read more about it. Now let's talk about some SEO tips and tricks. Ryan Darani, a past guest here on the channel, was on Sage Media and shares his thoughts on how much content you should publish. Let's check this one out.
Yeah, for sure. Publishing fresh content and staying up to date on your website isn't a bad thing. I don't believe there is a particular cadence that people have to kind of follow to reach that level of freshness. You know, in some industries, publishing 5 articles a month that are really in depth, really well researched, that give businesses the ability to go out and generate links is going to be enough to kind of sustain their position in the results page. And then the kind of the opposite end of that spectrum is it's a brand new site. They're trying to get content onto the site as quickly as possible. So the question is, how much do I need to publish before Google starts to index and rank my site? And that's something I come across a lot. And again, there shouldn't be this kind of hurry to get indexed by Google or ranked by Google. Let it do its thing naturally. Don't set a cadence, but instead look at how much content your competitors have and kind of reverse engineer how long it's going to take you to do that. But cherry pick the articles you could rank for quickly. And that should give you a pretty solid number.
All right, guys, it all comes down to competitive research again. I mean, analyze the amount of content your competitors are publishing, frequency, and one up them. And if you have the resources, but if you don't worry. I mean, whatever you have in publishing, at least you have something. Something's better than nothing. Okay, next up is let's talk about the importance of internal links. Cyrus Shepard discovered some killer SEO strategies after analyzing 23 million internal links. Let's check this one out.
I talked about how we saw this, we had this graph that went up and to the right,
Yep.
and then after a certain point, it petered out. What we found was those petered out links were navigation links. When a site links in the navigation, in the top navigation, if you have a 1,000-page site, you have 1,000 internal links all with the same anchor text. And we saw diminishing returns on those types of links. But when we looked at something different. How many different types of anchor text was being used? So that means different phrases. So click here, best camera, Nikon 378. We looked at how many different types of anchor text each link had. When we charted that, the chart went up and to the right, and it never came down. We ran the data 3 different times to all the way to the right, and the relationship kept going up and up and up. So to summarize this, to try to distill it down, it's not the sheer number of links in our data that we found had a positive relation. It was the number of different types of links and the variety of anchor text that made the most significant difference if a page ranked higher or not.
Diversify your anchor text and interlink to the max and watch your ranking skyrocket. Okay, and if you're on WordPress, check out the internal link juicer plugin. I'm personally evaluating myself and I may upgrade soon, and I'll let you know more about it. Okay, Google is showing 40% more of this one thing in search. John Licken shares what that is. Let's check it out.
If you look inside of Google, you are seeing a lot more images and you're seeing a lot more video showing up. So what you want to do is do a search for all of your top keywords, the ones you care the most about inside of Google, and then see, are they returning images? Are they returning videos? In addition to that, if you want to take it a step further, you can go inside of SEMrush and put in your top keywords. There's going to be a little icon, and that icon is going to tell you which of the search queries return multimedia. Once you have that list of all of your most important keywords and then all the corresponding web pages that you have, you want to go down that list step by step and see which ones are returning videos, which ones are returning images, and then make custom graphics and make custom videos that are specific to each of those pages. Embed the videos, add the images, resubmit your sitemaps to Google Search Console and Bing Webmaster Tools so that Google can pick that up, and then track that over time. And in the future, I think we're going to be looking at video optimization, image optimization, text optimization, all as different pillars for search engine optimization. And even now, we can see the number of impressions inside of Google Search Console. We can see the amount of traffic that we're getting from images and videos. So it is here now. It is the time of multimedia.
You know, I'm a massive fan of videos for SEO. I mean, I recently posted a case study of my SEO in 2023 book strategy on LinkedIn. So check it out and follow me if you haven't done so yet. I mean, my link is in the description. Okay, lastly, let's talk about how to make money through affiliate marketing. Holly Starks interviewed the founders of Conch House and learned how they made $1 million in affiliate marketing. Let's check out their knowledge bombs that they dropped.
So that's why we pick old domains, and old domains with like a lot of pages that had a lot of pages. So Google already allowed that, crawling budgets to those websites. So we knew, okay, we can, do something with these domains. And when we pushed all this, and naturally it got topical authority. As I say, like we didn't build any inner links, like basically like all the, manipulated content. And as I say, like if someone ranked on Google with lorem ipsum, then definitely we can, rank with manipulated, keywords and like pages. So it was just like working the keywords, like everything was same, just image and keywords and like some scrapping from the Amazon.
This is my first time hearing this tip, and I will start looking for more index pages when buying aged and expired domains. So that's something you should pay attention to. This brings me to my favorite part of the show. Please ask questions, and I will address them in the order that they were received. And please don't forget to like and subscribe while I get things ready here. Lisa started building websites in 1997. She spent her last decade building a 7-figure digital marketing agency that enabled her to quit her corporate executive job. She also founded agency Fast Track to help her agency owners, SEOs, and web developers learn and implement techniques and processes to build and scale their 7-figure businesses. Her superpower is creating systems that simplify running and scaling a freedom business. She is a speaker at SEO Rockstars and SEO Spring Training. Please welcome Lisa Parziel. Lisa, welcome to the show.
Dude, that was an amazing intro. I need to get you to do that every day, and I'd feel so much more important.
Everyone, let's give a round of applause. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Lisa. So, I mean, I want to get right to it. This is the first question I ask all my SEO professionals that come on here. In 1 minute or less, how does Lisa get ranking on page 1 of Google?
Dot all my I's, cross all my T's, right? So honestly, it's about what's the most important thing you need to do first, assessing your company that you're trying to rank, your GBP, whatever you're trying to rank, you have to figure out what's the first thing I can do right now to make the biggest impact. Start there. And then I keep asking myself the same question again and again.
Love it. First knowledge bomb of today. Hold on. Let's go rewind this back to 1997. Take us way back to 1997. I mean, how did you first get into SEO?
Yeah, so thanks for aging me there. Appreciate that. Honestly, I started building my first websites back in 1997, and back then, all you had to do to rank was literally put keywords at the bottom, make them white, and things would happen. But really getting into it was more about, I was a web developer, and once we would build the website, people wanted to know how to get traffic. So we didn't call it SEO back then. It was just marketing.
Yeah.
And how do we get people to come to that website? And nothing's changed in all these years. That's still the goal, right? So I got into it as a web developer that just literally had to figure out how to get people to the site I built after I built it.
Love that. That's the same way I was able to do it too, because I mean that's what we were doing. Like when it was back in even the .com phase of 2000, everyone wanted websites, and they also wanted to figure out how to drive traffic to it. So I mean, I'm curious of you know, it was a marketing tactic, but what actually made you more interested in it? Like why'd you go like even deeper into SEO?
You know, when I was trying to learn it, to be honest, I didn't have any knowledge. So what made me interested in it is how to really make my customers money, right? Because after I built it, it felt very bad when, especially you've probably had this happen to you. Somebody comes to you, you build them a website, you know dang well they're not going to be able to get any eyeballs on that website, and you feel like you're just taking their money. Yeah. So I wanted to really be able to help everyone and set that stage ahead of time. So that's kind of what got me interested in it. And I started to figure out, hey, there are ways to manipulate. And so it's that manipulation that made me curious, because I love data.
Love that. Okay, so when you're learning it, so I'm curious, how did you learn it? Like, what were your like resources back then? I mean, how are you like learning it like even today? And you know, what are your kind of your like learning ways of learning SEO?
Yeah, so back then, Kevin Wilkie, and some people that's going to date you because I don't think he's in the space anymore. He actually put out a course about how to make money doing SEO. And then of course he said, I'm going to teach you how to do SEO. We're probably looking at 2013, you know, ish. So far into the journey when I really started learning the techniques. Again, prior to 2010, SEO was easy. Yeah. It just was not hard. And it wasn't until Google came on the scene that hey, we had to pick it up. So Kevin, taking that course, then I started going to conferences, right? So I went to my first conference, I think it was SEO Rockstars with Dory Friend. And then over the years, I started going to SEO Spring Training, or I'd go to this mastermind or that mastermind. I felt that was probably the best way to learn it. And then of course, practical experience, right? Just do it. The more you do it, the more you learn.
I love that. So, I mean, at SEO conferences, for those that are on the cusp of going to conferences or not, I mean, like, that's like a lot of data download, like you're overload. You're getting all this data information. Like what are some tips for someone to, like, if they go there, like, you know, what to cherry pick or how to, like, you know, absorb this information that they're getting?
Yeah, you can't learn it all, and you're only going to implement 10% of what you actually learn. So I usually go into a conference with something I want to take out of it. Like, I'm here to learn this one thing, and I want to do everything I can at this conference to learn that thing. And if that means missing somebody else's presentation because the presenter who just spoke is the person I want to learn from, and he leaves the room and goes out the back door, I'm going to follow that guy out the back door and start talking him up and spend an hour talking somebody up that I want to learn from. And I'm going to do the same thing, going to that person or these type of people when I'm sitting around having drinks at the bar or sitting around at the dinners. I am there to work. I have a lot of fun. Anyone who's gone to conferences knows that I have a lot of fun, but I'm there to work. I'm there to actually glean something. So I'd say get the one thing you really want, and everything else you learn is basically icing on top.
Love that tip there. Another knowledge bomb. Okay. So let's get into your journey from your corporate executive life to, you know, a successful agency owner. I mean, like, take us through that, because I mean, it was within that span. Because right now you're at that agency life, so kind of like a backup track and kind of take us through that journey.
Yeah, so I was a big executive at a large Fortune 50 company running a department. And like most of you guys, I hated it. It just was a rat race. I'm not corporate material. I didn't know I was an entrepreneur at the time. And I just remember being at my desk one day thinking to myself, I've got to do this another 30 years. And it just, something ticked in me, and I decided to go on a journey. And that journey was, what skills do I already have? Right? I'm a web developer. I've been designing websites on the side for friends and family and not getting paid. But here I am during the day running a training department for web, things like web learning. And yeah, I was making great money, but why would I do it for them, but I wouldn't do it for myself? So I actually, after reading a bunch of books over the years, just got this idea. But what really pushed me over the edge, and what will likely push you guys over the edge, is, my spouse just had a really hard time at work one day, came home and said, hey, we can't go on this vacation. I'm not allowed to take the time off or I'm fired. And that just was like the icing on the cake. We started the agency that year, 2011. And, we gave the boss the middle finger. And within a couple of years, I was out of my corporate job too. So it was really taking myself seriously to think, I don't want this life anymore. And the only way it's going to change, it's not going to change climbing that ladder, because the higher you get up that ladder, the more it sucks, right? The view from above isn't any better from the view at the bottom. So I had to make a big change because I wanted freedom more than I wanted anything else.
Love that. And that's we're going to talk more about this freedom business that you talk about here too. So I'm curious on going into the actual, you started Agency Fast Track and Agency Remix, right? Can you, for those that don't know about those two things, can you kind of explain what those two things are?
Yeah, so Agency Fast Track is literally a platform that I built during COVID because a lot of my friends in the business were struggling with their agencies and business building. And that's where I have the most skill, right? That's really my superpower. And so I created my first course probably back in 2014, dabbled in it. But when COVID hit, it seemed like a lot of companies were struggling, a lot of agencies. And I wanted to show them what I had learned, because we actually thrived during COVID. Every year since COVID, we've done better than any years previous, while I'm seeing friends go out of business, right? I'm seeing friends struggle to make their rent. So that's why we started Agency Fast Track, which is really a training platform. Agency Remix is a culmination of just learning over the years that I need to sell different things. So it's a full SaaS platform, but we're actually baking in all the process and all of the things that most people learn into the system. So it's just in infancy. Like, we just started it. We had a beta group. It's closed right now. You can only get on the waiting list. But easiest way to explain it is it's like high level on steroids for SEO and web devs, with all the processes and all the white label services you need.
Interesting. All right. So, I mean, I wanted to get into more of a freedom business. So something that you refer to as a freedom business. Like, what is a freedom business, and how can entrepreneurs create one?
Yeah, so a freedom business, and be clear when you say these words, a freedom business means that other than scheduled meetings, I can get up and walk away at any time. I can schedule my day the way I want. I can block days as I want. I can take vacations. It doesn't mean that I don't work. It doesn't mean that I don't bring my computer almost everywhere I go, because remember, I'm the captain of the ship, right? If something starts going off course, if somebody sees an iceberg, they're going to call me, and I have to be prepared. But I could walk away from my business and it still runs without me. And I get to choose how I work, when I work, who I work with. And more importantly, we just did this I spoke at the SEO spring training, and I put a slide up and showed everything I did in 2022. And I took 20 weeks of freedom. Meaning there were 20 weeks where I did something. Now, sure, I had my computer. I might have worked an hour at night, an hour in the morning, but I went to Disney World, and I went to concerts, and I went to the beach, and et cetera, et cetera. So to me, a freedom business allows you freedom, but still the money to enjoy that freedom.
Got it. Got it. Okay, now let's talk about building this freedom business here, because I want that money to enjoy and doing that too. So, I mean,
Exactly.
I'm curious on like, with Agency Remix and Agency Fast Tracks, I want to get into like some of the things that you teach there. I mean, like, so how important is having a system for running and scaling like a business, especially for like an SEO business?
Yeah, it's huge. We don't talk about my agency much, in most of these venues, but I have a large, multi-million-dollar agency, and without systems, without process, I couldn't do that because there's only one of me, which means there's only one of you. And so knowing that when a client hires me, I'm going to do step 1, then I'm going to do step 2 and step 3 and step 4 and step 5. I have a recipe. I think of SEO like baking an apple pie, right? We need ingredients, and sure, there's variations. Some of us use different crusts, some of us use different apples, but in the end, we all need backlinks. We all need good content. We all need traffic to our websites. But when you break it down into systems, when you break it down into processes, now instead of having to hire somebody as smart as me who knows everything I know, I only have to hire someone that knows the one task I need. And then once they get that task, maybe I give them another task, and then maybe I give them another task until they're starting to do all the things I want them to do. In my agency, I have 22 people that work with me, and they do all of the stuff that I don't want to do, so I can run the business like a business. And that's the biggest mistake I think I made in the beginning. I ran it like a web developer, like an SEO. I was the asset. I was the smart person. I knew everything. Now I sometimes don't know all the techniques. I do have my team explain it to me, and I do want to know things, but I don't need to get in the weeds anymore because that's not my job. So systems, processes, I think they're huge.
Love that. So with your 22 people, so each one is doing one particular task, like a specialized thing, and they kind of pass it on to each other? Is that like how it kind of like works?
Yeah. So obviously a person might do several tasks, but yes, we have gotten this down to a science, and that's again what Agency Remix is all about. We're about to give that as a service that people can buy, and now you don't have to have all that. We do it for you.
Oh, right? So Agency
Remix. Agency
Remix...
Remix is going to allow you to skip all that, because it took us about 8 years to get all our processes tried and true and everything done to it. But you don't need software to do that. I started with an Excel spreadsheet. That's where Agency Remix came from. It was something we called the SEO process calculator. It was just a really fancy programmed Excel sheet in the beginning, and we did fine on that.
Nice.
Excellent.
So with that, I mean, for Agency Remix, is that going to be like kind of done for you type of thing, where you have everyone's going to, it's going to be kind of like white labeling type of thing? Is that kind of like the way it's working?
Yeah, we're going to have that available. We're going to have both. So if you want to learn it, you can learn it. If you want someone to do it for you, someone will do it for you. But I'm going to do it exactly the way I run my business, one task at a time. So if you need FAQs for your pages, and that's the one thing you don't want to do, you push a button and you just get the FAQs. Got
it. All right. So now that we have this, the key thing here is systems, right? We have, create these tasks, create the systems, and being able to delegate it with, to others, so you can, do what you need to do and manage the business. But, you won't have any business if you don't have any customers. So I'm curious, so what are like some effective like lead generation techniques that you that you've used in the past that work for agencies? And please share.
Yeah. So I'm going to give you my number one, which shouldn't be surprising, yet most people are surprised: SEO. So I literally SEO myself for things like website design and logo design. Notice I didn't say SEO, right? Because back when we started doing this, nobody knew what it was. Nobody searched on it. We're starting to see that uptick. We're starting to see SEO being a search term, and we're getting calls. But literally, I became a logo designer and a web designer. I was already a web designer, but I started doing these small services, because what happens when a company forms? Most people think, oh, they don't have any money. That cannot be farther from the truth. Many people get loans. Many people, have savings, etc. take packages from companies. So many startups do have funds.
Mhm.
And when you get them from a baby, right, they need their logo, then they need their website. Who are they going to go for marketing? And many of our customers grew up with us that way. And when they do that, they never leave. They're with you solid. So that's been my single best lead generation technique, was to SEO myself in those categories. And you can SEO yourself for any category, but that's what we did.
Love that. So basically, going after even keywords that are not just SEO, like, I'm saying like SEO services and stuff like that. Go after some things that down the line that they will need SEO or it will come to it. So like maybe even digital marketing, web design. Nice. Love that tip there. Okay. So now that you've actually brought them in and you got the leads, how do you actually convert them then? Sure you brought in a lot of traffic with all the web design keywords, and so how are you actually converting these guys?
Yeah, so same thing. I've got systems and processes depending on what I'm selling. Something as simple as a logo, easy peasy, right? But when you start thinking about web design and when you start thinking about SEO, most people come at people with tech, right? Let me explain to you how SEO works. They don't care. They don't. So I have a rule. One, I'm either going to talk to you live or I'm going to meet with you what I call quasi live on a Zoom or something like that. I won't do transactions in email. If somebody can't get on a phone call or a live call, they're wasting my time. So once I get on that live call, I don't sell them anything on the first call, ever. Like ever. The rare occasion is, you're referred by this person, I just need a logo. No sell needed. But typically I'm trying to understand who they are, what they need, what their problems are. And I hear and listen and talk and consult. I don't sell. Once I hear the problem, I just follow up with something as simple as, oh man, I could totally help you with that. Nice. And then I'm usually silent because I'm not trying to sell them anything. When someone says to me, and here's a big tip, when someone says to me, I need more leads, most people will go right into, cool, I got this system. Not Lisa. Lisa looks at him and says, what do you mean by that? Like, are you not getting leads now? Is it the quality of the leads? Like, let's talk about it. And we'll go into a 20-minute conversation because it could be they're getting plenty of leads. The people at the other end of the phone stink, or, they're not selling to the right people or the right stuff. So taking anything at face value and trying to make a sale, you're going to get lucky once in a while and your close ratio will be 20, 30%. How do I know? That's how I started. But as I started learning how to be a consultant, my closing ratio now is anywhere between 70 and 80% if I can get on that live call with them.
Nice. Okay. So now consult and don't sell at first. And then, just really, really listen to their pain points and what they're, kind of like really, really get into their heads and what they really, really want. Okay. I love that. Okay. So now that we got this understood, what are some other, like, with your experience, what are some kind of the mistakes that you've went through and, with, or you even see other people doing when it comes to like lead generation and closing these sales?
Yeah. So something that I really struggled with in lead generation is I didn't have the follow-up, right? So I was spending all this time SEOing and getting leads to come in. And then they would call or, I would have that live, and the ones I closed, great. But the ones I didn't, I would literally just ignore and just wait for more leads. A lead is so hard to get. Why would I waste one? So that was my biggest mistake. And I think a lot of agencies make. We don't have these systems in place, these processes in place to say, hey, the customer said, well, let me get with so-and-so and I'll get back to you. We write a note maybe somewhere, and then 3 or 4 weeks later, we think about it and go, oh, I never wrote that guy back. Well, now it's a little late and you look like a schmuck, right? So we now have everything automated, systematized, and again, we convert more leads because of it. So even if your system is just having an email template and putting a reminder on your calendar, that's what I did in the beginning. I started learning, hey, I got to have this template. I'm going to send it out every time after a web quote or after a logo quote or after an SEO quote. But I would put it on my calendar, TB, touch base, this person. And on that day on my calendar, I'd go do that thing. So I think follow-up is probably huge, not to waste some of those, leads.
Love that. Love that. Okay, so let's take a break from my questions here. We have actually one question from the audience here. And if you guys, please ask them in the live chat while we're talking here. Let's take this one from Jeremy. Jeremy asks, are web design clients looking for custom built sites from the ground up, or does offering quality WordPress themes work in many cases? Great show.
Yeah, great question, Jeremy. I think it depends, right? Every person's going to be different. People don't care whether you use themes or not. People don't really care, about the technology. We get caught up on technology, right? We do. But when did we ever ask AT&T what kind of tunnel they used, or what kind of data set they used, or what kind of cabling they're using? We don't ask that. So I don't think customers care as long as the end product looks like the value of the price they paid. So if you're going to use a template and it's going to look a lot like a regular template, charge less. If you want them to pay more, my average ticket for a website is $3,500 to $6,000. That's what I charge for websites. And the way I sell is so succinct that most people don't even question it. But I've perfected that over the years. But essentially, I'll even give you low, medium, and high. Open up 3 websites. Show them to them. Here's what you could get for this price. Here's an example of what one at this price looks like. Here's what that is. You're basically showing them something and say, if you want the Cadillac, you're going to have to pay for it. Right? But if you're okay with the Pinto, then great. That's only $2,000. So I think that's the key, understanding what their goals are and remembering you can always upsell them into a better website later. You're just trying to get that relationship. Web design to me is a lost leader. Even if I break even, if I think the customer is a good customer that I can make an SEO customer, even if I can break even, I'm happy.
Love that. Hopefully, Jeremy, that answers your question there. All right, let's get back into something. And you guys, be sure to ask me more questions in the live chat. So I want to go into, now that you have your leads and now you close them, I mean, how are some how are you differentiating yourselves from other agencies? Why would someone even choose you from going to this other web design agency? What's that kind of look like?
That's a perfect question, because we have to assume everybody's going to call 3 people, and most of them are going to talk to at least 3 people. Most people are going to do the old school way. They're going to listen to what they say. I need a website. Great. Here's how much my website costs. Click. They're not going to take the time, go back to the previous answer I gave about how to consult, right? If we are to consult with them, if we are to act like, hey man, it's not about the sale, I just want to help you out. I have literally been on a phone with someone, I knew I wasn't going to take the job. I still spent the extra 20 minutes to help them figure out what the best resource was. And I've literally had them refer a friend who was a good fit. So I think when you're genuine and you care and you consult and you're taking time out of your day to actually spend with them and going and doing your homework and coming back to them, not a lot of agencies are doing that, right? They prefer the email. We get uncomfortable on the telephone or on Zoom. And I used to as well. I mean, we're computer jockeys, right? Yep. So I had to get out from behind the computer and become a human being. And the more I humanize myself, the more people say these words to me in a call. Man, Lisa, I don't know. I just like you. I feel like I know you. I just feel more comfortable with you. So I'm just going to go with you. People buy from people.
Love that, humanizing it. Of course. Love that. Okay, so I want to go into once you got your services and you sold, because you mentioned that you could sell websites from $3,500 to $5,000. I mean, are these one and done, or are you how does your upsell look like, or how do you get them to come on a recurring type of payment model if you do that? I mean, is that something that you do?
Yeah, 100%. I didn't know how lucrative recurring was. It came about by accident. So I started noticing every time I built a website, somebody would ask me, where do I host it? And so I had to become a host pretty quickly. And a lot of people don't like hosting. And I love hosting, because to me, hosting for 90% of your clients is like free money. And I say that because servers aren't that hard to keep up. And most customers don't want changes. I literally have customers who have been with me 15 years that have not called me except when their credit card expired or got stolen. Because we're just like the phone bill, right? They're just going to keep paying it. And it didn't occur to me until one time I hired who's now my current CPA, and she was going through and trying to make me a better company. And she started breaking down everything, and she showed me the number on how much money I was making on hosting a year, and it was 6 figures.
Ooh.
And that just floored me. I'm like, wait, what? Like, I'm making almost as much as I did in a full-time job from a passive service that just happens to be a monthly fee.
Mm-hmm.
Once I figured that out, I have been on a mission to find as many passive is the key, recurring services I can.
Ooh.
SEO is recurring. Love SEO, but it's by no means passive, right? We got a lot of work we have to do, but start thinking of things like chat widgets and bots and all this stuff. Like, you know, that's part of what Agency Remix, why I created it for me. And now I've created a tool that my friends wanted. And then when they got on it, then it's like, man, you should sell this. That's how the best businesses get started, right? But it was because I'm seeing this money and thinking, I didn't have to work for that, right? Yeah, I had to do a couple of troubleshootings throughout the year, but I didn't have to work very hard for that money. Whereas SEO, we work our butts off, right? So to me, passive revenue is key. And something I'll say is I started changing the model of how I sell websites too. I'm playing in the space, testing it. I'm now giving my customers options to do the recurring model like a Wix or Squarespace versus the buy and you own. And a lot of them are picking, you know, the monthly, because I tell them once you go on monthly, that's forever.
Yeah.
But you get out cheaper in the beginning, but you're going to pay more in the end. I'm honest with them, and they still pick it because in their head, oh, I won't be there more than 3 years, so it'll break even. You know, I got a guy who's been on that plan now for about 7 years. It would have been cheaper if he bought his website outright.
Love it. Okay, so you actually brought up some other interesting points there, like being able to put some other passive type of income streams within your services. So I mean, let's go through a few of them. So you said that web hosting was one. We had some widgets. Are there other things that you're doing that, you know, that gives us some ideas to like actually kind of charge more?
Yeah, problem solving. So with all the SaaS out there, and all of the ability to do simple automations, point and click, you know, whether it be on our system, high level, it doesn't matter where you're at. We have the ability to walk into any business. I have a customer who lives about a mile up the street. We just happen to use her services, and she complained about, I can never answer people because I'm going all day, and the only thing I have is my phone, and I can't get on all those platforms on my phone. So we created something for her that just sent text messages to her every time she got, you know, something. And once we get them hooked on, it's like, $47 a month. Great, thanks. She's been paying for that for 2 years now. One thing. Same with, if you think about, hey, here's another great example, right? Limousine company gets calls all day long for Saturday and Sunday, don't they? But they don't get calls for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So when they get a lead, what's the most important lead to them? Not the Saturday and Sunday. They can lose them because they don't have enough limos to fill those spots. So come in and just solve one problem for them. Hey, man, I got a process. We're going to redo your form and start asking them a question to try to pull out the Monday through Thursday. And then those are the people that get put at the top of your pipeline on your lead. And those are the people you call first. 20% increase in sales.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. How long are they going to pay me for what I put in place? Forever.
Got it. Yeah, I love that. So problem solving.
That's $97 a month for one problem, Dre.
Oh, there you go. See, so I love that. So you can actually create these passive incomes by solving problems and identifying them, and then creating the solution and just tacking on more, right? So that's kind of like it kind of becomes an upsell. I was like, oh yeah, we can fix this for you, and then you kind of like solve these problems. Love that. Okay, so we got another question here from the live audience. Jeremy again. Jeremy asks, what is startup cost to do in-house hosting? Also, Agency Remix sounds like a dream. We'll check it out ASAP.
Yeah, so in-house hosting is not as expensive as you think. The key is you can't go to GoDaddy, you can't go to Bluehost, you can't go to HostGator. They have cheap, so you think cheap, right? In your head, you're thinking cheap. They also don't have quality support. They don't have quality anything, right? And so you want something that's as passive as possible. You want to be able to select a company that when you have your customer site there, if there's a problem, you can either get on the phone or send in some kind of support ticket, and you know they're going to solve it quickly because you don't want to have to solve any problems. Hosting is not mission critical to most businesses. So for example, if you want to host somebody who's got a big shop online and they do e-commerce, that's mission critical for them. So they're going to want support on Saturday or Sunday. We sell ours with that caveat. Listen, we're Monday through Friday, 9 to 5:30. We do not support unless it's, something catastrophic. And if the site goes down for an hour, the site goes down for an hour. We set up that. But your setup cost should be pretty cheap. Now, cloud servers are very inexpensive. I use both cPanel and cloud. I prefer cloud. I actually created, if I'm allowed to, Trey, drop one more plug.
Of course.
agencyhosted.com. So if you go to agencyhosted.com, I help agencies set up. I charge a minimum monthly fee, and I help you guys set up your own cloud services through my own platform. And honestly, if that's not a good solve for you, Liquid Web is probably the #1 hosting company I would recommend. Their support is stellar. Their prices are decent. So if you just want hands off, I don't even want to touch it, I'd probably go with someone like Liquid Web. You get a good VPS for $50 to $100 a month. Sounds like a lot of money, but you should be charging $45 to $75 a month for, wait for it, a maintenance plan. We're not selling our customers hosting because GoDaddy sells hosting for $1. We can't sell the same thing for that much and we are a maintenance plan. Hey, Mr. Customer, I make sure you don't get spam because I have software that does that. Hey, Mr. Customer, I make sure your email deliverability is good. Why? Because I have software for that, et cetera, et cetera. So when you're trying to get into it, do what we all did, educate yourself. Agency Fast Track was built for that reason. We have courses that, through that system show you A to Z how to run an agency if that's what you want. But in the end, do one thing at a time, right? Don't try to do a bunch of things. Just start with hosting. If that's your bag, start with, just implementing one recurring service. I like complementary services, right? They're already buying a website from me. Of course, they're going to buy my hosting. But then I started thinking, they should also buy the chat widget from me and the forms from me and the automations for those forms from me. And I just started adding on, and the hosting is the basis for that. So really, you get started for as little as $20 a month on a cheap host, but I wouldn't recommend it.
Love that. Hopefully I answered your question there, Jeremy. Thank you for sharing that. I mean, that actually opens up my eyes because I'm trying to get into the consulting game, but at the same time, it's maybe it is you can cast a wider audience if you offer other services web design, and then just work in your SEO into there and package it. So I mean, I am a web developer. I mean, I'm a web designer, like I mentioned. I kind of started off the same route that you did, and so I was like, maybe I can go back to that. Love that. Thank you. I'm learning a lot here, Lisa. So, I mean, for you guys, if you have any more questions, please ask them in the live chat as I'm coming close to the end here. But I want to go into the main part of how were able to build your agency to 7 figures. And you mentioned processes and systems. I mean, if someone wants to go from if you can give a high level way of how to get started to create a system for a certain task, let's say because you mentioned that you do systems for SEO, you do systems for your sales calls, you do systems for all these different types of things. I mean, for any system, what's the general kind of structure of a system for us to kind of follow in order to kind of make it be successful?
Yeah, it's as simple as 1, 2, 3, right? It's the same idea of what do I do every morning? The alarm goes off. I get out of bed. I put my leg over the side of the bed. I stand up,
Mm-hmm.
I walk here, I do this. We actually build out what are all the things we have to do, and then we put them in the order of most important. And only then do you have a system or process, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you're just starting out, the biggest mistake people make is, I want money. I did it, by the way. I want money, so I'm going to take every piece of business that comes to me. I don't have time to build systems and processes because this guy wants this and that guy wants that. I don't know nothing about that. So now I'm learning this and now I'm learning that. You're being pulled in so many directions, you can't get good at anything.
Mm-hmm.
And so let alone have lead gen that's only targeting that person. So I would say, find your sweet spot. If it's, I want to be a web developer, all right, who do you want to sell websites to? Is it e-com or not e-com? If you say not e-com, I don't care who calls you, you don't do e-com, right?
Got it.
If they call you and say, I want a Wix site, do you want to be a Wix developer? Probably not. You don't do Wix sites. So you're really defining your space. This is who I am. This is what I do. And then one at a time, you're building on those skill sets. Taking all the money that comes your way actually will cost you money in the end. I learned that lesson a very hard way. First year in business, I did not break 100,000.
Mm-hmm.
I only got to, I think, 86 or 87,000, which still doesn't suck. The second year, I skipped up to 100 and something. The third year, 240 something. So it was very gradual.
Mm-hmm.
Had I hyper focused and knew the things I know today, I would have easily hit that 6 figures year one. I probably would have hit the 250 the second year, 500 the third year. Like literally, I see now the errors in my ways. But guess what? You're human just like I was. You just got to learn. And the best place to learn something, hang out with people who already know it. Hang out with, come watch these shows. Discern every little tip you can. But you can't spend all day on YouTube, right? We got to go and actually go find the customers and do some of the work.
Love that. Okay, guys, I'm going to come to my last question here. If you have any questions, please ask them in the live chats. So this is the last question I ask all my SEO professionals that come on here. If someone wants to become an SEO or get into the SEO industry, whether it's an in-house SEO agency, in-house, provide SEO services, become an SEO consultant, what would your advice be to that person to become an SEO professional?
Yeah. First things first, decide who you want to be in the space. Are you going to be an agency? Are you going to work in-house? Do you want to work for someone else? How do you figure that out? Very simple. What does your life look like in 5 years? Are you sitting at a desk in an office taking orders from a boss? If that's comfort for you, that's who you are. If you say, nah, I'm just doing this until I can live the life you have, Lisa, then no. Start that now. Don't wait. Don't take that job and then someday I'll go. So once you've decided that, your first thing is rank yourself. I cannot tell you how many SEOs I meet that tell me, I don't get any leads. I don't know how to get any customers. Like, all right, so how well is your site ranking? Oh, it doesn't. If you can rank yourself in a business where we all rank, right? Or even come close, or even if you're 7th place out of, like, you come to Dallas, you're up against me, you're up against, Simon Cornelius, and I can name big guys that are in this space. Man, 7th is great. If you can do that, not only is it going to give you the skills to rank customers, it's going to give you the confidence to sell to those customers. And confidence is the number one thing I would say most of us lack. I did. The more confident I get, the more money I make.
Damn! Love it. Confidence, guys. Confidence equals more money. All right. Thank you so much. I didn't see any other questions come in here. So, Lisa, I want to, for this episode to feel complete for you, I mean, the stage is yours. Please let people know how people can get a hold of you and like all of the properties that we can find and all the projects that you're doing. Projects, please. The stage is yours.
Yeah, so I mean, you can find me. If you just type in Lisa Parziel, you can't not find me on the interwebs, right? I made sure of that. Agency Fast Track, we have a great YouTube channel. You just type in Agency Fast Track in YouTube, you will find us. I am a pretty easygoing person. I answer everyone who's in my groups. Once you find us on YouTube or find us on Facebook or find us wherever, just get in touch and we'll add you to spaces to where I answer everything. I'm big on Skype. You can find me on Skype. I don't give that out publicly only because, giving out your Skype ID in a public forum is probably a bad idea. But, really just type it in and find me. Agency Remix is in wait list right now. We're not letting anyone else in. We let 40 in initially. They're beta testing, or as we should say, finding all of our bugs and problems. And then we'll open it up to another beta test, because I'm sure we'll have more. But just find me. I'm around. You can't not find me on the interwebs. Last thing I would say is, the one thing about when you see people on these type of shows, and I love Dre, one of my favorite people. I mean, this is one show I actually watch, right? I don't watch a lot of them. Just remember that they didn't get there overnight. And it's okay if you're struggling. It's okay if you're failing, right? We did too. But few of us talk about that part, right? Most people get on stage and say, hey, I'm going to show you how to make $10 million in, 10 years or 2 years or 5 minutes. But they don't tell you that they spent all that time, right? My agency's been open since 2011. First year, I didn't crack 100K. Who I was and what I knew, that's not very impressive if you ask me, right? We all have to get there one step at a time, right? One step at a time. You can't quit. An entrepreneur is someone who doesn't quit. All the greats that started in their basements, started in their garages, same way. They failed, they failed, they failed, they failed. But they kept trying to learn. Education is probably the biggest key. Go figure out how to do something, whatever you're lacking. So that's my best advice, man. Hang out with smart people, learn as much as you can, and never give up, because the minute you say, well, I'm going to put this on hold, that means you're going to work your job over and over and over again. And like me, sit at your desk. And by the way, I was a high executive at a Fortune 50, and I had a window seat in a cubicle. Oh, I might get an office where I have no window if I move up. I mean, there was nothing that thrilled me. Now I look at, the more I can get these processes down, the more I can get this done, the more free time I have to go play, go to concerts, go to the beach, go do what I love to do. That should be your motivation, your why, your kids, your life, your family, your friends.
Love it. Love it. Thank you for the great advice there. We have one from Chris's great advice right there. Jeremy says, monster show. Thank you, Lisa and Dre. Everyone, let's give a round of applause. Lisa, can you hold on for just one quick second while I sign off real quick? Just hold on one quick second. All right, guys, that concludes another episode of the SEO Video Show. Please support this channel by liking and subscribing if you haven't done so yet. And I will see you next week. Peace out.
Thank you for watching. Hope you come back next week. Make sure to subscribe. You don't want to miss a thing. Hope you learn something new, because the vibe is incredible. From the special SEO professionals, SEO video show. Let's work. Want to see you be an SEO expert. Paul Andre De Vera helping you step it up. No delay right now. Time to level up. Hey, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe. Woo!